Hi, I'm Kyra and welcome to my channel. Yeah, I'm not doing good right now, okay? Hashtag gratitude, but like I don't know how to talk. Okay. I'm Kyra and I make videos about planners, productivity, personal development, how to get done what you need to get done in your day, in your life, at work, being an adult. No, I'm not making videos about being an adult because I'm failing at that. Also kind of all within the realm of having ADHD, fun, and now with a mouth like this. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, I thought I would show you how I am setting up my 2024 Hobonichi Weeks in the yearly, monthly, and weekly spreads. I was gonna also show you in this video some of the trackers that I'm doing in the notes section of the book, but we'll do that in a second video because this is getting kind of long. So thank you for being here and stay tuned for part 2. If you've been here for a while, you know that I kind of like to take I want to say a more practical approach. I don't really have the patience to keep up with like very intricate spreads. I actually do have quite a few stickers and markers and stuff that I haven't been using as much as I would necessarily like to, but I have found that what works for me the best is to just have the most like lowest barrier to entry on a daily usage basis. Otherwise I won't keep up with things. My fucking voice, please don't give up on me. I have been using planners and notebooks and bullet journals and whatever else for like since the dawn of time really. But last year was the first year I got into Hobonichi, and last year I feel like was the first year that I really started to figure out like trackers and kind of like what I needed over and above like my schedule. Basically, my history with planners and journals and notebooks has been my schedule and my to-do list and my notes. So the biggest thing I learned last year in my Hobonichi Weeks, and this we're gonna do this in my last year's weeks just with like a couple of spreads that I have not used because I'm still being very precious about my 2024 Hobonichi Weeks. The pen that I'm gonna kind of be carrying around with my weeks, it looks really dirty for some reason. It's a clear Kaweco Sport. I think it's an extra fine. Most of the reason of why I like these Kaweco Sports for like carrying around is because I feel like they have the least likely chance of the lid coming off. I'm so worried about the lids coming off. Like I have some of these Kakunos and like, I don't know, I guess the lid's kind of on, but you know what I mean? And really, functionally speaking, I will probably end up at some point defaulting to just putting a Muji pen in here because this isn't really gonna stay, and I don't know. The ink that I have in here is Ferris Wheel Press Beaver Dam Brown. It just, for me, the Weeks, it just fits. The Beaver Dam Brown, it's like a brownie purple, and shockingly, it's not that sparkly. I don't think it's sparkly at all. But for some reason, it just seems to perfectly be a fit for Hobonichi Weeks, the way the paper is. I don't know. Okay, so first things first. Yeah, I like completely defaced this page while I was trying to figure out, okay, I'm gonna show you in my new one. Okay, so this is our yearly, I feel like some people call it like an index. I think some people call it a calendex. I don't know all the terms, okay? This is like your yearly overview. Last year, I mostly used it for important days and stuff, which I just basically didn't end up fully populating because I put those in my cousin, like people's birthdays and stuff. And then also I obviously had it in my phone. What I want to use this for this year is very simply tracking, but not tied to goals. So let me explain. I know when we watch a lot of planner videos, sort of the nature of what everyone's doing is like, I want to read this many books, or I want to do this many this, or like, for me, I don't know what it is, but like, I do badly with goals. I kind of tend to get like whatever, like I'm not going to get it done anyway. So everything I'm going to be putting into this page, like it ties back to goals, but it's not quantified, which I know is a goal that's not quantified is just a dream or whatever, but the act of keeping track of something for me and seeing it and seeing that I'm going to keep track of it is what makes me do it. That's sort of like the right amount of mindset that I need versus like, oh, I gotta run 800 kilometers a minute this month. That's not even a thing. Okay, so first, in the dailies of this page, I'm going to track my steps. I know kind of like when you talk to especially fitness people, they're like, oh, your steps, what does that even mean? I found that my steps are kind of a good measure of just how I'm doing generally. I don't want to tell you what my steps are for today because it's not great. So I just want to be able to have a reference point that maybe I can correlate with other things that are going on throughout my calendar and my life, and I can be able to see what my steps were at that time, because the better I am feeling and the better I am doing, the more steps I am getting. Okay, then at the top, and this is a real evolution for me, because in my previous planner experience of strictly using these things as like, what are my important days, like very practical, I have never used a page like this for anything but what are the dates coming up of things. I think what I want to do is have a list of things that I just want to keep again, they're goals, but I'm not quantifying them, because if I put pressure on myself, like, I'm just gonna rebel against myself and I'm just gonna lay around and do nothing, okay? There are 7 fields here. So I think what I want to track in these is how many kilometers I have run, which I've really thought a lot about, because I'm concerned it's not something I'm gonna be able to do long term, because like my knees hurt, my toenails just like blow off my feet. But at the same time, I know that above all else, if there's one thing only that I could do to help my mental health, it's running. I'm going to track my kilometers for each month. If that has to evolve to something else, so be it. Next thing I want to track is how many books I have read. If I'm measuring how many books I have read, I know that that will help me to stop scrolling and go back to reading. And I really love reading. I feel like it's one of the best ways that you can like grow and learn as a person, because you're literally inside someone else's brain and like learning what they know in a way when you're reading. My other thing I do other than this is photography. So I want to track, like, I don't know if it's photos published or just like photos that I have made, edited, completed, because sometimes I don't publish them and they are for people, or like, I want to make sure that I have it as some sort of a metric, because with all of this YouTube and whatever else I'm doing, and obviously like my regular job, I don't want to lose track of that, because it's important to me and it makes me extremely happy. Okay, something I'm learning in sort of this like mental health evolution that I'm inside of. Why am I talking like this? The things that you were good at and interested in as a child are actually a match for you in life as an adult, obviously, but like not obviously. How many of us are just inside a life that has literally nothing to do with anything we were interested in pursuing as a child? So part of the result of me moving and having this year transitional time of my life that I'm in, like, I thought the move was the destination, but I guess it's actually like the beginning of the journey. So I feel like a theme of my life at this time of it is like getting back to who I really am in a way. And so when I was a kid, I used to write a lot. And when I say writing, I don't mean journaling or whatever. I mean like writing like an article, like a blog post, or like a Medium or whatever. So I don't know if I should track words written or articles posted. I'll have to see how I feel about that while I ponder this. And again, I am not holding myself to that. Like, I might change it as I go. We'll just see how it goes. But that's something that I want to track. If you have something that's in you that you're just like not pursuing, but you know it's a part of you, this might be an opportunity to do that in here. Okay, now I'm just sounding like a tell me you have ADHD without telling me you have ADHD. How many interests are you going to pursue, and how many of them are you actually going to be able to follow through with? Does anyone else here have ADHD? Literally every idea in your head, I'm going to do that, it's going to be so awesome, it's going to be the best thing ever, I can't wait, I'm going to do it. Anyway, but like legit. Okay, next. I'm having a lot of fun with these YouTube videos, and if anyone is still here after this like mouth head piece video, hopefully someone is still here, thank you. I will keep making them. So I want to track videos made. I know I should have a more set schedule of which days I film and post, but like life is hard. So I want to track in some metric of like videos that I have posted and subscribers, so that I can kind of see how that is going in an objective manner. And then the last thing I want to do, okay, I'm looking for suggestions on this. I need to do a fitness thing because I'm just like sucking at my fitness. So I was thinking maybe like how many push-ups I did in a month. And I mean like real push-ups, okay? Like I can do one real push-up, okay? These are not like freaking granny ass wimp push-ups. I'm talking like chest to deck. Or maybe like minutes of a plank hold, some general burpees. Some general measure of fitness I want to track on this last line, especially for women. That's why I kind of have the focus on the upper body. This summer, or maybe it's last summer even, I was at the playground with my niece, and monkey bars, right? And like I just went to do the monkey bars and it was like, no, like you're barely, there's no, like I could not one monkey bar. At what point in your life do you just lose the ability to monkey bar? Like it actually shocked me. But the fact that I couldn't even do one monkey bar. Okay, so that was the yearlies. For the monthlies, I really want to keep these very simple and more practical as a reference point of the key dates of the month, like what's going on in the month. And I don't want to burden this too much with tracking or things I have to keep up with. I think I might probably along the left side just do a thing for like write the numbers of the month and then put beside it indicating that I did yoga, because that is also tied back to my general well-being, as well as obviously mobility is extremely important. I think I want to do like some indication that I had a good day. I would like to do an indication that I had a productive and focused day. Again, just seeing that as a checkoff helps me to be productive and focused. At the bottom, I will just literally use these as to-dos or whatever I need to focus on for the month. And then for the days, ahead of time, I will have main dates, like I said. And then going back, I want to make sure that I have space to reference certain days, you know, that I went out with a friend or I had a doctor's appointment or whatever, so that at a glance I can see these pages and then I know to go refer to like the individual week. That way this is kind of a reference for what happened in the month. So these monthlies are really not hugely important for me. Okay, weeklies. I'm gonna go back now to my old 2023 Hobonichi and let's just find a weekly that I failed and did not use. August, because I was at the lake living my best life. This is literally I did not plan for this to be the way that I use my Hobonichi weekly spreads, but it just organically became the way it is. You have seen me complain about this before, okay? The one fatal flaw in Hobonichi: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's only one box left, so I just put weekend. I've thought about tracking like my things this way so that I could have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you know what I mean? But the invisible line for me in Hobonichi is extremely visible and I must abide by it. So this is how I do my tracking. And then this is very boring, so we won't get into all of it, but I always say, like, did I take my medication? Did I take my vitamins? Did I do yoga? Was I on time? This list gets extremely long. You don't have to be here for all of it. That's also why I like doing it this way, because some days it's like a lot of things. This helps me stay accountable for the basic daily things that I need to do to be a fully functioning adult. I don't know if it's because I have ADHD or just because just because who I am, but it is infinitely beneficial to me to have this open in front of me as often as possible and seeing this list and putting an X when I do something, okay? X. I used to put a dot in every field just to have the dot to X off, but that's too much work. And then obviously some of the things that are here can always be used to refer back to later if I'm behind on some other tracker somewhere else. I can see that I've done it, okay? Did I run? Etc. Honestly, in all of my Hobonichi experience in the past year, this must be one of, if not the most helpful and important pieces of the puzzle for me. So thank you Hobonichi. Yeah, this is the bread and butter really of how Hobonichi has helped me, I'm now figuring out. So usually at the bottom then, once I've gotten through however long this area needs to be, then I will kind of have like a high priority to do section, and then I put some things on here that just generally throughout the week need to get done. Not too granular because there's never enough pages for that, okay? These are just the big picture things, like I need to go do a certain errand or pick something up or drop something, you know, like main things. We're going backwards here because I should have done the left side first, right? Okay, so on the weekly side, I usually use, if you're familiar with Hobonichi, there's kind of like these 3 invisible dots that separate it. I think some people do like morning, day, evening. I've done that, but really what I like to do is use this side for meetings, appointments, whatever. If there's one thing that is the worst thing on earth for me, it is like things that are at a time. I don't know if anyone can relate, but when something is at a time, it's on my mind, like, okay, it's coming up. I can't be like, I have a massage in an hour and a half, and this whole time I'm like, okay, like I gotta get there on time, like I gotta be there. So tracking things at a time is extremely important for me. So I use this for things that are at a time. If it's for work, usually I don't even put in necessarily what it is because I just want to keep this pure, but I need to know that I have something at that time, and then in the evening if I have run club or like whatever else, you know. The middle section I like to use to just put some notes like I had a good sleep, I'm grumpy, whatever the note may be of the time. I just need an area to just put something down. And this, honestly, this weekly spread as a whole came very organically to me throughout using my Hobonichi Weeks in the past year. It's extremely functional for my needs, as well as being simple and achievable so that I'm not held up by actually keeping up with it. And it actually helps me a lot. And then this last section, this is something kind of newish to me, but I think it's obviously important. I'm writing down what I'm eating. I need to be more mindful of what I'm eating. Plus, like, I get hives off and on, well, more on than off, and I literally have no idea why. So I think that, and maybe like other medical things that might come up, it's important to be able to look back at what you ate because you might be able to establish some patterns. So that is my weekly. It often ends up being some doodles, or I will put something in with watercolor on the weekend as kind of more of a hobby-ish aspect of enjoyment. But really the function of the weeks is, what is it that I'm actually supposed to be doing to be a well-functioning adult human being? Actually, that's literally what my weeks boils down to. If there's one part of the whole, like my whole planner ecosystem, but especially my experience with Hobonichi, it has been this weekly spread. I feel like I would be even more of a mess without it. So thank you Hobonichi. So that's how I'm planning to lay out my yearly, monthly, and weekly spreads in my Hobonichi Weeks this year. The key to it all is simple. The key to it all is in one pen, and it could be any pen. It doesn't have to be this pen. I'm not committing to certain colors or labels or anything like that because I know that that will be what makes it fall apart. I need it to be in front of me all the time. I need it to be easy to check something off. I need it to be somewhat consistent, which I know that this works because it evolved for me organically over the past year. So I'm just really excited to just keep going with what I've been doing and what's been working for me in terms of the weekly. And then the monthly, that is somewhat how I used it last year, but I also dropped off on the monthlies quite a bit last year. So just using it more as a point of reference for things that have happened in the weeklies that I can then go look up for more information. It's genius. It's so simple, but it's genius. And then the yearly spread I'm very excited about because that is new for me. We'll see how it goes. At least you are here to like somewhat hold me accountable, and I also really want to hear how you're using your yearlies and your monthlies and your weeklies and your Hobonichis, but especially your yearlies. Do you use them how I'm planning to use them? Because that's new for me, so I'm a little bit nervous about it, but let me know what has worked for you, what you think about this. Yay! Yay 2024, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, please stick with me. Don't give up on me with this mouth thing. I really appreciate you being here. Part 2 of this video is coming up where I'm going to talk about the different trackers that I'm doing in my notes pages of my Hobonichi Weeks this year. Last year I did most of my tracking in the cousin and it did not work for me. So that video will be coming up next. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. If you made it to the end, I guess leave me a brace face emoji. Like, this is like my most used emoji, like always, because it really shows how I'm feeling. But then it turns out, I guess it's also the brace face emoji. Thank you. It's okay if you just mute all my videos from here on in, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you for so much of the discussions that we've been having in the comments on the previous videos. I cannot say how grateful I am for you being here and how much I appreciate you. Thank you. I will see you next time. Like, this whole video, I'm like, thank you. Bye. Honestly, I don't even know if this is gonna even become a video.